Hey there. So the title of this video is, what does my carry Bible look like? Well, I've got two Bibles that I carry, and I don't carry them both at the same time. It depends on what I'm leaving the house to do, or if I don't really know how long I'll be gone, I'll carry both. And I'm replacing, well, this is a New Testament, and I'm going to show you what this looks like inside. This is where I have the majority of my notes, being a Christian for around 7.5 months now. And this here would be the complete Bible. This, just the New Testament. This is a lot easier to carry, as you can see. But this being Old and New Testament, I am replacing this with this. It's a lot thinner. It's a lot more compact. Of course, it does have smaller print, but that's something I can deal with. Now, what does it look like on the inside? Might give some people some ideas here. We'll just take a glimpse at this Old Testament and New Testament Bible. And you see I have different topics. A whole bunch on holiness. Pretty much the whole Bible is about holiness. There's a lot on preaching, a lot on one God, repentance, grace, judgment, and some of these I just haven't spent as much time in. And I've got some more going here. Since I've got one God, I decided to do Son of God, hell, and since I've got judgment, I decided to do God's judgment. This is judgment between people, saints and sinners, and God's judgment. I've done highlighting and stuff in here. God's covenant with the rainbow. So let's look into my main carry Bible. This is the Bible that I use to carry the most. And I love this Bible. It is the CBP New Testament. It's going to run you about $25 on churchbiblepublishers.com. I'll leave the description I'll leave the link in the description. It's edge lined, meaning this cover, this inner liner comes under these, and it's attached to the book block that way. Now when you open it up, you'll see that there was no presentation page, so I made my own. You see I've got a color coding system here. Nothing too complex. And I'll use that sometimes just to highlight verses. And I've got my stamp here. You can find these on eBay. You can customize them. I've got my contact info here in case somebody finds this Bible. They can either look on my YouTube channel or they can email me here. That's an old email, by the way, when I was a football fan. And so I made, my own presentation page here. Give people ideas of what to do. I just put owner and I sign my name. I put the date when I got this, not too long ago. And I was baptized on 12/20/18. Not even a year ago. It's been about 7.5 months or so, according to Acts 2:38. I did a cross because I actually wrote Acts 3:38 right there. So I blocked it out and then just added a block here and here to make a cross. It wasn't my intention to do so. But I thought it looked better. And I have Old Testament there because anything highlighted with a star is going to be an Old Testament verse. And I've got a couple of Psalms verses here. So that's what the intro looks like. I really like the color coding system I've got going on. You could use the color coding here too. You see I've got more topics here. And you see some Old Testament verses, and you see blue for baptism or water. And you could give somebody a whole teaching on baptism doing this. You can even pause this and look up some of my verses if you'd like. Pretty sure I covered everything, but I'm always adding new stuff. And with these CBP Bibles, they give you plenty of cardstock paper in the front. This is thick card paper. And I've got 2 big long lines of holiness, and you see the color coding system here coming in handy again. Anything with pink that has to do with women and holiness, how they should conduct themselves. And you'll see like blue and pink, you even see I've got a dress code reference there, and a star for Old Testament, and it's highlighted. As you've seen in the color code, anything that's highlighted with a star is Old Testament. And you see here preaching. Now I've got some pink color codes, which means women preaching, what they should and shouldn't do. And you see one God with some Old Testament references. I even drew this little male symbol here because that has to do with homosexuality. And I've got the color code there, the lighter green, like a greenish blue. It has to do with anything that's an abomination, evil, lie, greed. And this color green has to do with earth, tree, seed. So you can see, kind of get my color coding system down here. I've got holiness, preaching, one God, Son of God. I've just started. And I've just started one that's born again. Verses about what's born again and what does it mean to be born again. And I don't have them all here. I have some of them, a reference system as well. You can see like God's judgment and verses on hell, which I haven't started on those as much yet. And I've got a reference system going on, so not everything you'll find in the front there until I put it under its topic. But if I know the verse, I'll go to it, and it'll lead me around to other verses. I think there's some in like Matthew 13 right here. I just put this teaching up on my channel, and I went over and did all these verses in like an hour and a half, whatever it was. And I wrote it just as the Spirit was teaching me. You can see here. So I'll circle anything that has to do with like this verse. And I'll do a square of things that I don't really need to read, but still I could read. I forgot really what my intention was when I did that, but I don't want to read it over right now because I want to make this shorter. You see another verse, concluded, born again. So, by the way, that Deuteronomy should have a star by it, that verse, because it's Old Testament. Let's go to John 6:44. Oh, here's some references. I just wanted to show you some references I've done. You see a little arrow, 3:13. That means to go back to John, wherever you're at, and just go to 3:13. I've done some highlighting here, and my Bible is beginning to be very full of this. You can highlight, you can do verses. All right. So I'm going to wrap this up. Just hoping to inspire people. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this after I get it chock full of notes and references and whatever else I need. And I have a bigger note taker's Bible that I want to be really neat with. So I'll figure out all the notes that I'll put in there, how I'll put them in, what I'll put in, referencing what else. And, you know, so yeah, this is what my Bible looks like. You can see references all throughout here. And neat little things I've done. So love the rainbow. And in the back of my Bible here, my daily carry, my main carry, I've done some art. I've got like Genesis here in the cloud with the bow. At Hebrews 4:12, I've signed my name really big here with arrows. Got my stamp again in the back here. I've got a picture of a verse citing Exodus 17:5-6. And I've got some favorite verses here. This is very helpful as well when you're explaining things to people and just when you need to tell somebody about whatever you need to tell them about. And you're like, man, I can't remember that verse. Well, it's in my favorites. It's not necessarily under a topic, but so still got a couple of more pages there. And thanks for watching. That's what my Everyday Carry Bible looks like. Godspeed, and may grace abound.